high school, I was one of the least competitive people, period. That was it. I just wasn't that competitive. I had no drive. I didn't really like if there was a sport type situation, I didn't really go in with the mentality of I want to win, I want to get better. I don't really know at what point I started to be even remotely competitive. Nowadays, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more competitive. I see someone winning and I'm like, oh, I want to beat that person. And it's not like in a negative way. It's not like, I don't like this person, so I want to put them down. It's in a sort of rivalry type situation, even if it's someone I don't know. It's, you see someone, it's like, oh, this person is doing good. I admire the fact that they're doing good. Therefore, I would also get better. One, so they don't leave me in the dust. Two, because if I beat them, it kind of gives me a little boost. It's confidence. It lets me know that I've accomplished something worth doing. Um, but I do think at the time I didn't think competition was worthwhile back in high school. Nowadays I do think competition is actually very healthy, and I actually encourage the idea of competition. I talk to some people and they dislike the idea of competition. They dislike the idea, say, of a business competing against other businesses with the intent of putting them out of business. And I think there's a good mentality in that. I think there's sort of a empathetic view of it. I think that's why they don't like the competitive part. I think competition inherently sort of almost suggests that you're taking something away from somebody, or that you are beating somebody, you're casting them out. And I do think there's some truth to that. But I do think the best parts about competition is that it encourages growth and innovation. When I was in college, I joined this club that was anti-bullying. And this is going to sound really controversial, I know this, but I joined this club that was anti-bullying. And going into it, my thought was, it sucks that kids get bullied. I was bullied a little bit. I wasn't bullied like hardcore when I was growing up. Some people I've heard get like bullied really bad. Like kids go after them. I've heard of some girls who like will have other females from their class and message them a lot on social media. I think nowadays it's probably the worst, and I think females probably get a lot of online bullying. But as I thought about bullying more, my perspective on bullying changed. I think bullying is somewhat of a form of competition. It's someone who is maybe bigger, maybe better, maybe at whatever, but at the very least, they're more intimidating than you are, or at least your perception of them is intimidating, which is why they're allowed to bully you. Because if, realistically speaking, someone can't bully you if you don't care what they say. It just doesn't work that way. Or if someone is trying to physically bully you, but you know you can beat them up, or you know you're better than them, or more athletic, it doesn't work out. You can't bully someone that is better than you. You can try, and people do try, but it just doesn't work out. It's like Twitter or social media when people try to argue about about anything. If you know better, you just ignore it, or it just goes up your head and you don't care about it too much. But I do think there's some value in bullying. I think, and this is one of those good versus bad things, it depends on how you perceive it. I think if you automatically default to the negative perspective of it, you will just say, this person is being bullied, it sucks, we should stop bullying. I don't think that's a good way to go about it. I think bullying is one of those things that will always exist. Everyone bullies. Adults bully people. Like I said, social media is a huge place where people get bullied. You post something, someone disagrees, they come after you, nowadays I see people, they threaten to tell your boss, they try to get you fired from your job. That is a form of bullying. That is bullying. If you're a guy, maybe you are trying to talk to girls. Girls might say stuff to rattle you, to kind of get under your skin, to see how you react. In a sense, that is a form of bullying. Some people might say, oh, you're not tall enough, you're too short, you're not athletic enough. This is all forms of bullying. They're mild, they're minor, but they're still forms of bullying. They're attacking who you are as an individual. The positive part of bullying is that the bully essentially tells you what you need to improve about yourself. If you are small, say your two boys are in school. One boy is like the stereotypical bully that you see in like TV shows. Big kid, usually kind of overweight. He comes at you, knocks you on the ground. He basically did you a favor. He told you, I don't think you're tough. What does that mean for you as the person getting bullied? That means you need to find a way to get more tough. This means you can start lifting weights, depending on your age. I don't recommend 7-year-olds start lifting it out at the gym. But, maybe you're in high school, lift weights, stand up for yourself, self-confidence, take martial arts, again, build confidence, build self-esteem. He's essentially pointing out the flaws that you have and allowing you to fix those flaws. And I think the same could also be said for girls. If you, obviously, I'm not a girl. I don't know the exact experience of girls, but I imagine if you have Sarah, Rebecca, and Becky, Sarah, Rebecca, and Becky's two Becky's that are antagonizing you, they almost hold you up to a higher standard of mental fortitude. Do you let their words affect you, or do you learn how to ignore them and essentially say, the fact that you were even criticizing me shows that you are beneath me? And I know that sounds very harsh. I know that sounds bad, but it's true. You know, people don't really attack those that are below them. Like, you don't really see a homeless person, and this is nothing against homeless people. You don't really see a homeless person on the side of the street, though, and say, oh my God, I hate this guy. You don't really antagonize them because they're in a worse situation than you are. People feel bad for them. Sometimes people want to help them, but they don't really bully homeless people. I've never really heard of a situation where people see someone who's in a worse position than them and they go out of their way to antagonize them. You usually only antagonize people that you think are a threat to you in some way. And I feel like that's the bully. The bully usually kind of has self-esteem issues himself or herself, and the way they feel good about themselves is by attacking others. So when it comes to competition, when it comes to bullying, all of those types of things, I don't necessarily think they're bad inherently. I think they're opportunity. They give you the opportunity to realize that you have a deficit. You are lacking something, and through that deficit, through that lack, you can build upon it and grow.